Tell us, you grew up between San Diego and a Barry Island in Florida. How did living around water and isolation shape you before you knew you'd be a swimmer and an artist?
Yeah, nature is very much a big thing in my life and therefore in my art. I kind of consider myself in a way a pantheist. Like I feel like I'm a very spiritual person just as a whole. And I feel more connected to, you know, the realm beyond ours and to, the universe whenever I'm around nature. So and I feel like as an artist, I'm actually channeling. It's not just me. I'm basically a, I'm basically a vessel, for lack of a better term,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for for the universe to kind of channel through me. There's a guy who's become a friend of mine who's nominated for Best Spoken
Wow.
Word Album. Mark Marcel,
Wow.
he's yeah, and he I really resonated with his work because it's how I work too, being that, it's not just about me. I'm channeling the message from the universe. And again, that's not me saying that like I'm a god or demigod or a prophet.
No,
No.
no, but I can totally, yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm sorry. That's crazy. But, nature, it was there before human beings, and it'll be there if we ever go extinct, excuse me. And so yeah, it just for me, it's inspirational. I mean, I look out at the water and how can you not be inspired by everything around you? I mean, it's a miracle, everything,
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
awesome. That's awesome. That's great.
Thank
And
you.
I think when I was, when Suraj told me about you and I started listening to some of your stuff, I could kind of feel that, right? You're connected to nature and things around you and everything. And then we'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
Let's keep on.
Awesome.
Of course, and that part of the spirituality which you just said, the ultimate form of the spirituality, the God is a nature itself. We all get inspired from Him and the nature and whatever we see every day. So I can connect with you, whatever you are saying right now.
Awesome.
If you're liking this episode, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on Discord. Look for the links in the description.
So, Charlie, tell me, you were placed at a center stage at a very young age. Did performing feel like a freedom or pressure? And how did you feel being seen on stage or media for the first time?
That's a great question, Suraj. So I never felt pressure. In fact, I don't know, I just immediately was connected to entertainment as a young girl. I loved film, I loved music, and it was always around me. My mom was an aerobics instructor, and so she would have all these cassette tapes and, CDs and everything. So it was kind of a natural progression, I would say. I started off doing ballet as like a 5-year old. I have a picture of me in my little pink daisy costume. It's really cute. So it was always, when I was young, it was really fun and I didn't feel pressure. It wasn't until I got older and I had some trauma in my life that my perfectionist tendencies kind of bled over into my entertainment work. But when I first started as a kid, it was fun, it was joyful. I Every time I could put on a performance, whether it be on an actual stage or just for
Mm.
my in the bedroom of my grandparents, I would be there. Like I
Wow.
just wanted to be like, hey,
And was
yeah.
this in California or was this in Florida
This
or?
was in Florida. This was in Florida.
Gotcha.
So because I moved from California when I was pretty young, so I wasn't yet at the time where I didn't really start performing and stuff until I was about 5 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's still, wow, 5
Yeah.
years old. That is amazing.
Thank you.
So you
So
actually
you
were on stage when you were 5 years old? It's that,
I was, in fact,
damn.
I think I was a few weeks shy of 5 years old.
Oh my God. I mean,
wow.
I don't even remember 5. I don't
Yeah.
want to get into my stories, but I don't even remember 18. I think I
Maybe that's a good thing, Sandeep. Maybe that means you enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it was fun, but I definitely don't remember 5. I do remember 18, but I don't remember 5. Wow, that is such an early age. So
Yeah.
you've been shaped right since then, huh?
Yeah, I would say so. And like I said, I just adore the mediums of music and film and storytelling, really. All of it's storytelling. And storytelling is a big part of my life personally. I mean, my maternal grandfather, he was always telling stories. So I was just always surrounded by storytelling, whether it be through music, film, TV, what have you. So I just had a big appreciation for it.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
That is really, really cool.
You said that you have practiced and learned ballet. So how long have been how you been practicing that ballet? Or because
Well,
as
go ahead. Didn't mean to
yeah,
cut you
because
off.
as a whenever I saw this art form everywhere, I found it very difficult. Like you stand on those toes and you get all those blisterings. So when you said that you have practiced ballet, huge respect for you from my side.
Well, I was going to say your respect is going to go down a little bit because I transitioned pretty shortly after to doing musical theater, which is more jazz dancing. So it's a little bit easier on. I never did points, if that's what you're asking. I've done ballroom, I've done jazz, I've done a little bit of ballet, but especially as an adult, I actually would say ballroom is my most recent kind of dancing experience. So
Nice.
yeah. But I've done jazz and everything else. Yes.
Does all that kind of help in musical theater too?
In what way? You mean like the dancing or?
Yeah, and the dancing and the performing and the singing, and it kind of comes together, right? At some point.
Yeah. It's funny because on paper, somebody looking at me, it would be like, well, you act and you sing. Musical theater is like, that's a shoe in for you. And the thing is I just said momentarily, just moments ago that I didn't have that pressure on me. Entertaining was just fun, right? I didn't feel,
Right.
but I was in a very rigorous musical theater group from the age of 11 until 18. And I mean, people that have graduated from this program have ABC TV shows now.
Wow.
Like there's more than one. Like Abigail Spencer, Katie Mixon, they're both have had many roles on TV. If you Google them, they'll come right up. And so it was really great preparation. But that's when this element of perfectionism kind of crept in. And there have been a lot of very successful, people who've come from the program. Like I said, Abigail Spencer, as well as Katie Mixon, they've both had very successful careers as actors, actually, not so much music, but acting. They've been on a lot of their own, primetime TV shows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So wonderful, wonderful training. It was a wonderful base. But, the people, and again, Abigail Spencer and Katie Mixon are older than me, so I actually didn't have any interaction with them. But some of the kids that I was around at that age, that were in my age group, were very mean. They were just mean. They were like, they were just awful. When you learn music, when you learn a new song, especially if it's not one of your own and you're like learning a song that's been written, you're probably going to make a few mistakes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? And this asshole kid, like, turns around because we're like in seats, like in rows learning the song. He turns around and he's like, wrong note. And I'm like, like, turn the fuck around, asshole. Like,
no,
I'm sorry, I'm learning a new song and oh wow, I didn't get the note right the first time. Shoot.
Yeah, so what? Yeah, so what? I mean, we all make mistakes. I mean, I can totally relate to that because I am a singer. I've been singing for a very, very long time, since 1992. I sing different styles, right? I sing, Indian as well as Western.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and so I've learned both. And I can totally see I can totally relate to that because that happens a lot in some of the art forms. I'm not going to name one or another, but it happens a lot where they're like, oh, that note was not right. And so what? I mean, that variation didn't come right. I'm like, I don't care. I'm singing a cover song right now.
Right. It's your interpretation. Hello.
Right.
Yeah.
If I wanted to make a carbon copy, what's the point of doing a cover?
Go listen to the original then.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
Correct. I don't
can
know.
totally relate to that. I can totally. I hate that so much. I quickly wanted to ask you, about
Yeah.
musical theater, because musical theater is something I haven't done, but I've been told that I have the voice for that. And, I've recently been taking some lessons with this duo. It's a husband wife, and they're from New Hampshire, and they're heavily into musical theater and everything. And they keep telling me, like, you got to do it, and you can just get any role like that. You can even get like an entry role if you learn some of these songs and some of these other arias and what have you. And I'm like, I've never done it, and that's really not. I don't know how I fit in, So I mean, sure, I'm a bass baritone, and I can live up here too in a tenor sometimes if I want to, but I'm comfortable in my bass baritone.
I think unfortunately, I speak my mind and I'm very blunt.
Right. That's fine.
And I love the baritone voice. It's the most beautiful one to me of the voices.
Yeah.
I used to, like, speaking of musical theater, I used to make fun in my head, not outwardly, but I'm like, I'm singing some of the same notes as the tenors. This is kind of crazy. I was like, because I could sing really low, especially when I was in high school, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So
it is. And in fact, Suraj over here, he challenged me once. When you get a chance, you can go listen to it. I don't know how good it is, how it comes across as someone who's learned musical theater, but he challenged me to do an Italian song in this operatic kind of voice. And I did that. And in fact, I was in India recently in December, and we did a gig, and we were playing all our original songs. And I happened to do that song live for the first time. And it's an Italian opera. I don't speak Italian. I don't even eat Italian.
Well, it's so funny you say that, Sandeep, because I actually, when I started taking voice lessons, I did Italian arias, and I still do them. And I did them a couple hours before we got, 2 hours before we got on this call. I trained. Yeah, because I'm a vocalist. There's so many people who are singers, and that term can be kind of,
Right.
You know how it goes. There can be people who are like, who really work on their craft, and then there can be people who are more stylistic.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Whatever. I'm not here to judge folks. And but I really work on my craft just like people work on their piano scales or the guitar. And so Italian arias, in my mind, it's just like what they say with instruments. If you can sing classically, you can sing anything.
Yeah.
If you can sing classical music, and they say that about instruments too. If you can play classical music, you can play anything. Oh.
I mean, you get trained in a certain. I can see where you're going with that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that helped me. I mean, he literally challenged me, and you might want to go after this. You might want to go listen to it, and I don't know if you'll probably laugh. Like, what was he talking about? But
no, I'm interested.
It's literally he literally came to me, and he's like, hey, I have this song, and I want you to do it in Italian. And I was like, huh? I kind of looked at him like, what? And then we got someone I had a song idea, the story, and we got someone to write it for us. And the lady was kind enough to even sing it so that I understand how she's singing. And then I learned the lyrics, and I was working at a certain company at the time. And I got in touch with the guy who was from Italy, actually. And he was like, he sat down with him one day on a Zoom call. And I was like, dude, tell me, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah.
And then we recorded it right here.
That's
anyway,
amazing.
Moving on. Yeah.
No, you'll have to send it. No, send it to me. Like, I'm serious. Send it to me. I want to hear it. No judgment. I mean, I'm singing Italian, and like I said, I don't know. My other language is French, and I don't know what I'm saying. My pronunciation's probably not 100% correct, so who am I to judge?
Right. And then he had me do a Spanish song after that, which is okay. That's kind of almost living in Southern California. I hear it all the time. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's not a big deal. But anyway, moving on, while I was going through your stuff, it was so interesting to read. I went even to your website and everything. So
thank you.
Tell us, your life has demanded like intense discipline across, swimming, academics, acting, music. So when did discipline, and if it ever felt like a refuge, and when did you have to redefine it for your well-being?
Wow. That is it's never been put that way. Discipline is a refuge. No, but I think it's great. Like that's a truth. You're speaking truth. And because it is a refuge for me. And it's kind of like you're asking me that question and it's a realization happening. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees,
Mm-hmm.
It takes somebody from outside of yourself to kind of tell you so I would say when my maternal grandfather passed away, it was unexpected and it was a tragedy, traumatic. I don't think I'll ever get over it. Again, I'm not trying to bring the energy down.
No.
But he was a father figure to me, very much so. And he was very integral in the early years of my life. He would play guitar and I would sing with him. So he had a profound effect on me and my life. In fact, I'm named after his dad. But anyway, when that happened, that was probably when my life really did a 180 and changed. I was 11 years old and I was about 3 weeks out from my first performance with this musical theater troupe I mentioned, like from a big performance. And, after he passed, I kind of buried myself in my work because, those feelings, I feel like even as adults, not all of us can handle all the emotional things that get thrown at us, and all the ups and downs of life. And I think that, having that and then the musical theater, and then I actually had to see, and I'm okay talking about this. It doesn't bother me, but his death is what triggered my eating disorder, my anorexia nervosa, because as a lot of people don't understand, eating disorders are not about food, which is so paradoxical. And you're like, wait, what? It's not about food. No, a lot of times it's about control. And I couldn't control what happened to my grandfather. Everybody was bringing over food for my grandmother. I just wanted my grandpa back. I didn't want the food. And, everybody around me was not eating because they were so upset. And so that's when all of it came together. So my eating disorder and my discipline, unfortunately, kind of came together at the same time. But the negative aspect was the eating disorder. The positive aspect was channeling that discipline into different, endeavors. And so I had a psychiatrist who was helping me with my eating disorder, and he's the one who got me into swimming because I was a gymnast. I did ballet, soccer, and gymnastics. Wow. When you have an eating disorder and you're too thin and frail, those are not good things to do. Swimming supports you. And so yeah, I would say that trauma created a need for discipline, structure, and some kind of form of control, if I'm being honest. And I had to learn how to implement that in positive ways through my endeavors and not negative ways like my eating disorder. Yeah.
Wow.
Gotcha.
I can relate to this with you because somehow I also went into somewhat kind of this eating disorder.
Really?
Whatever. Yeah, let me show you some interesting stuff to you since we have talked about this eating disorder.
He was a big guy.
You know who's this?
Is that you?
Yeah.
You don't even look the same.
I was 21 years old in this picture. I am 32 right now.
You look older in that picture. You look older in that picture.
Yeah, he was a different guy completely when I met him. I met him when he was that.
Yeah.
So and I was like, he was a big guy, and he's tall, so he was a big guy, and I was like, wow, this kid is big.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now he's lost like half an entire person from him.
I knew you were going to say that. He's lost a person.
In that picture, I was actually, how much is a 146 kg in a pound, Sandeep?
I think it's 2.2 kilos.
By 2.2.
2.2 kilos to a pound.
So almost like a double. So you can say 300 pounds, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in that picture, 300 pounds with a 46 inch of waist. And all of that thing. So I could relate with you that
Yeah.
the eating disorder, how much you have felt like, and how you are recovering from it. Like, not everyone can do it. So for that,
Yeah.
it's
It's
great.
and I know that we're going to talk about it here in a bit probably, but yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a journey to overcome it. And I kind of tell people it's how I imagine being an alcoholic or drug addict maybe. It's something, at least for me, because mine started so early at 11 years old. It's something that I live with daily, but I learn how to kind of, I'm in charge, not you. Cool. Thank you for your input, but it's not welcome,
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you are in control of your life, right? I mean, and if you want to, I completely and so much believe in that because you know what you're going through. I mean, it could be so many
mhm.
different things, right? And there's always people who'll be like, "Oh, you should do this and you should." I'm like, "Yeah, screw that. I'm gonna take control and I'm gonna
That's
do
right.
what." Yeah, I know what.
Only you can only you can make the decisions for your life. It's real
Absolutely.
easy for people to chime in and have opinions, and that's fine.
Hmm.
People can have their opinions, but I learned in my 20s that when you ask a lot of people for advice, that's really not a good thing to do because you just become super confused. And like you're going to get like as many opinions as you've asked people, right? So if you
Exactly.
ask like 20 people, you're going to get 20 different opinions and then you're just going to like your mind's going to blow because it's too much.
Oh,
But
that's great.
yeah, but I like one thing about you, that you are open to talk about this eating disorder. Like, many of the people who suffer from this, they don't talk about it because they feel like what the other guy will say about me, how he will think what I was eating and I am eating continuously. But
Hmm.
you are open to it. That's very good. And because of that, I want to ask you, when you are suffering from that and when you recover from it, how did your body and your way of looking at the art or the music has shifted from there?
Yeah, yeah. So my recovery, and this is why I keep bringing up alcohol and drugs. They've actually shown that whatever mechanism it is in your brain is similar for drug addiction and eating disorders. So I had an eating disorder for, I would say it was bad for 17 years of my life, like
Wow,
17
that's a
years.
long time.
And through that time, I had relapses and I had recovery. But the good thing is every time I relapsed, it wasn't as bad. So,
Hmm.
and people don't understand that relapsing can be a part of recovery. So,
Hmm.
yeah, of course you don't want to relapse. Hello, but that's a part of the process. And if it happens to you, it's kind of like, again, you're learning a new piece of music. If you screw up the first time you learn the piece of music, that doesn't mean you're not going to keep trying, right, to learn it. And so what happened was when I went and got my Master of Fine Arts in acting, I'm a big believer in therapy for everybody. I don't care if you have an active like issue or not. We all have issues, first of all, whether
Hmm.
you
Okay.
describe them or accept them, we do. But anyway, so when I was in my MFA program, I decided to take therapy at my school, at my graduate school. And I had a therapist. You know how there's just some people who make a huge impact on your life and change your life
Absolutely.
for the
Yep. Yep.
better?
Yep.
I had a therapist and he was, he was great. We had so much in common. He was actually a drummer.
Okay.
He was a Taurus, Western zodiac like me.
Wow.
Hmm.
We just had a lot in common. And he basically gave me permission and helped me give myself permission, talking about discipline, to back off a little bit and stop being so hard on myself and punishing myself. And whenever you come out of an eating disorder, so Suraj, I had it looks like I might have had the opposite issue of you, I had
Mm-hmm.
the issue of not eating. And so when you haven't eaten and you start eating again, sometimes, you gain your body has to come to some kind of equilibrium because it's used to holding on to food, and then when you start giving
Hmm.
regular food, it still holds on to that. So you might yo-yo in your weight, right?
Hmm.
And
Okay.
I remember I was dating this guy, and that's me being nice. Asshole would be a better term. And anyway, I remember this motherfucker on my birthday weekend, which by the way, we were like in New York City and I was paying for a hotel. Even though I lived in the city, I wanted to go stay at a nice hotel for my birthday and I was paying for it. That's another issue. That's just file that under categories why this guy's a dick. Okay. And anyway, it was like 2 a.m. I'm exhausted. I want to go to bed. And this guy turns around and says, "You know what, Charlie? You know, you look like you've gained a little bit of weight."
Oh my God.
And it's my birthday weekend.
God.
It's 2 a.m. I'm paying for the fucking hotel. And I told him he could leave.
Yeah. Well,
I
asshole
said,
would be a better term.
Yes, yes. I said, you can leave. And he's like, "Oh no, I'm sorry. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is because from that moment on, I, in the past, unhealed me from my eating disorder, would freak out and not eat and go probably to the gym at the hotel, the 24-hour gym, and work out for 2 hours. But healed me was like, screw you. How dare you comment on my body? You have no idea what kind of journey I've been on. You have no idea what demons I've battled and how far I've worked. And you do not have power over me. You are not my boss. I'm not here to make you happy. I'm not here to be your object or whatever. That's not me. And so that's why, people might listen to my music and be like, she doesn't like men or she's very da-da-da-da. No, that couldn't be further from the truth. A lot of my friends are dudes and I love guys. I do. But at the same time, I'm going to call a bitch out. If you're going to be like, if you're going to be an asshole, I'm going to call you out.
Just call you out.
I'm going to call you out. And so like, honestly, so that healing moment, once I got to the end of my 17-year ordeal, that's when I said, I'm done. I'm done pleasing other people. I'm done trying to make everybody happy. I'm done trying to be something I'm not. I'm not naturally a size 2 or 4. I never will be. Okay. I'm muscular. That's me. And if other people don't like it, then that's a them problem. And you know what? I know that there's other people who have felt the way I've felt. And I'm going to make music not just for me, but for them. And so they can step in their power and be empowered. And it's not just for women. It's for anybody, however they identify. Like, it's for people who feel like that they've done their best. They have come across things and people that haven't been great situations, yet they have still overcome. And so that is my mission as a person, as an artist, is to uplift people and to show people that, like, you can overcome anything and to stand in your power. And yes, there's going to be some people that get offended or don't like seeing you empowered. But again, that's a them problem, not a you problem.
That's cool. That's really powerful, actually. I can relate to a lot of things over there. That is so cool. And
thank you.
One of the things we have in common is I have an MFA too, which was a grad school. Yeah.
I went to the Actors Studio Drama School at Pace University in New York City. How about you?
Okay, I actually had, when I first came to the U.S. long, many, many moons ago, I had actually admission from Parsons, and then I ended up going, but I had a full scholarship from Cincinnati, UC, University of Cincinnati, in Ohio. So I did my MFA over there, and it was in electronic media, electronic arts, because I was into VFX and animation and gaming and all that. So I kind of channel the energy over there, and I was doing that in India, but then I came here. They didn't really have a program of sorts, but it was called electronic arts, and so you could kind of experiment and do anything as long as it was kind of related to fine art. So you could use your medium, could be anything. So at the time, I still remember, long time ago, I was the only guy doing art with animation.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah, a long time ago. And then there were other people then who joined, and they started kind of understanding the medium, and there were a lot of video people and photo people. And so we had this huge group of guys and girls who were like, we had painting majors and print majors and photo majors, and there was a film school was slightly different, and it was good. Yeah, so the MFA experience was really nice. It was fun.
That sounds really fun, actually. I love interdisciplinary things like you're talking about, where you've got photographers, painters, animators.
Yeah.
I love learning from people who don't do what I do. So that's really cool. That's really cool. Where in India are you from? I know you might have said, but where are you?
I'm from Mumbai, which used to be called Bombay. And
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Suraj?
And I'm right now sitting in Bombay.
You're in Mumbai right now?
Yeah.
I have a really good friend from grad school, from my MFA program, who's there right now.
Oh, is that
wow?
Right?
Yes, because she acts and produces in movies, like some Bollywood stuff. She does indie movies, but she's had some well-known Bollywood actors in her movies, and she also coaches acting. And she's American, like she was born in the States. She's from California, Riverside, I believe. No, sorry, Stevenson Ranch. Stevenson Ranch.
Yeah.
And anyway, long story short, she's half Indian and half Greek. That's her heritage.
Mm-hmm.
And she decided to capitalize on the fact that she speaks Hindi and went to Mumbai. And I say good for her. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of stuff happening there in terms of if you're thinking about the whole Indian, film industry, lots of things are happening over there. People want to be, absolutely. Yeah. No, that's good. But such a small world. Yeah. See, MFA, when you said that, I had a little.
And then we had the Mumbai connection with the MFA.
But you know what? I work in tech, and I rarely meet. Well, I shouldn't say that now because I work for a big tech company, and I do meet people who have an MFA or BFA and whatnot. But earlier, I used to never meet people. Like I used to always be, I have a master's in computer science or this and that. I'm like,
yeah.
For you, I have an MFA.
Yeah, you're like I can animate Mickey Mouse. You can't.
Right. Okay, great. This sounds so much fun. Moving on, swimming is something inward and solitary, right? While music, acting are very outward and expressive. So how does time in the water prepare you emotionally for the stage or for even the camera?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love it. So swimming, and I swam in college, and I don't know if, you guys have friends that have been athletes in college, or a lot of them, once they're done, they're done. Like they hang up their running shoes or their football cleats or whatever, right? Whatever they did. In fact, I've got people I swam with in college, and they've hung up their goggles and haven't touched them since, right? Anyway, swimming, because it was part of my recovery from an eating disorder, it's very therapeutic for me. It's a time when I, much to my chagrin, I'm a people person. So like I'm like, I wish I wasn't such a people person. But then, because I love people and I love meeting people, I love hearing people's stories, and I love meeting people from other countries and other experiences. My mom would always be like, Charley, why can't you be friends with so-and-so like in your neighborhood? I'm like, because they're boring. So I was friends with like the girl that was here from England, or the people that had a unique background, or the person who was the only person from that ethnic group at my private school. I'm like, cool, I can learn from that person. I can't learn from Sally down the street who whatever. And also she's a jerk, so why would I want to hang out with her? Anyway, so swimming has been a refuge for me from a lot of the outside noise. What I love about swimming, especially now, because whenever emails and texts really became 24/7, which in my experience, for me, it was 2011 when it happened. It really made my anxiety worse, like a lot worse. And so what I love about swimming, as opposed to other forms of exercise, is I can't bring my phone in the pool. So I can't answer the phone. I can't text you. I can't. So it's an escape. And I have a very active mind. I'm very curious. I love learning. And it's a time for me to decompress, think about things. It's going to sound really funny because it's the water and it's not grounding, right? Because it's not on the ground, but it's very centering and grounding for me because and also it's almost like a spiritual experience because I get to cleanse myself in a way, because there'll be times where I'm like, oh God, I don't want to swim. I'm tired or blah, blah, blah. And every time I come out of the pool, I'm just in a different headspace. It really just helps me put my head on right,
That's so cool because I'm not a swimmer per se, but I know how to swim. And my dad taught me when I was like super young, like 6, 7 years old or what have you. And recently I've started swimming in my neighborhood. We have a pool. And I've just started. Of course, I'm pretty bad. I'm one of those guys.
Whatever.
But I'm trying to kind of get my rhythm and everything. But I can kind of relate to what you're saying. It so calms me down after I do that. In fact, when I was in India recently, in December, I always take a trip. And in Bombay, I was staying in this hotel and I could see the pool. I was on the 10th floor and I could see the pool down, right? They had this beautiful pool. And I would wait for all the people to go, all the kids and the
yeah. Don't even get me started on the kids in the pool.
I would be like, okay, now it's 7:30, 8 o'clock, and it's like there's no one, literally. And that's when I would go. And I did that for a few days that I was there.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it was so, and they had a really beautiful pool for that hotel. And oh my God, it was so nice and calming. And it was just good. It just felt good.
Yes.
And, and I would sit on the chair, I would listen to music, I would take a dip again. It was just, like you said, it's almost like therapeutic and
yes,
it's made me calm and I'm going to start doing it a lot more. I mean, but even Southern California, sometimes in the morning, it's a little cold.
I know, because I was out there again from 2011 to 2014. And I remember going to swim practices over at UCLA, LA, and it being like 39 degrees on my car dashboard. And I'd like, sorry, Fahrenheit. I'm sorry. I don't know Celsius. I know, but like Suraj, I'm sorry. We have to be
Suraj
weird in America.
He talks to me every day, so I'm always talking in pounds and Fahrenheit and whatnot. Yeah, so he's okay with that.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I can't do the calculation that quick in my mind, but
one thing. Have you tried singing in the pool?
No, I hum sometimes, like whenever I'm
Take
like
the water till here. I don't know what it is, but this is something I've heard or read growing up in India back in the day when I started first learning music and when I started first singing.
Yeah.
And it seems, I don't know where I read it or who told me, it seems if you kind of go this deep and you start doing your water exercises and whatnot, I don't know, people might laugh if they listen to this, but it's good. I don't know. So I sometimes when I go to the pool and I'll be like, and I'll start doing like, okay, let me do my warm-ups over here and let me see. Is there anyone around me? There's no one around me. So now let me do it because I'm alone in the pool most of the times and, in the morning. And
yeah,
I don't know if it helps, and if there's something to it, but it felt good.
I'll tell you what, after I swim is when I usually practice singing. And I can sing so much better because my diaphragm's been moving because swimming really takes...
That's definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so I love singing after I swim, but I've not tried doing it in the pool. But you know what? Let me tell you what. That deep, chin deep. Well, I'll tell you what, if people complain, I'm just going to roll my eyes because the kids that come through there scream bloody murder. And I literally am not afraid to yell at them and tell them to like take it down because I'm just over it. I swear I'm like on the Muppets, there's those two old dudes who like sit in the balcony and make fun of everybody, Statler and Waldorf. And they're like grumpy old men. And that is like in my head, especially when I go to the pool and there's kids there. I'm like, get out of here, kids.
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. Well, because it's my retreat and you're screaming. I'm trying to have a spiritual experience.
I never just mark my... Luckily, the neighborhood I stay in, we have our hours, like the adult hours and the,
Really? Oh, they need that.
And even
they need that at my pool.
Hours, even during the adult hours, I'll go early. But there's hardly like 4 or 5 people, but I'll still go early and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do my thing and get the hell out of here.
Yes, yes, yes. And like I said, people are like, oh, you don't like kids. I'm like, no, that's not at all. But I don't like kids that are assholes, Their parents like
I can relate
just
to that.
aren't, the parents are just like absentee. They're like, oh, here's an iPad and, I'm going to have a margarita. You go swim in the pool, and annoy the hell out of everybody else, while I get drunk. You're like, I'm not here. Because the pool I swim at is on the beach. So the pool I swim at is on the barrier island that I'm talking about, Pensacola Beach. And so it's there's a lot of tourists because it's a beach, it's Florida, blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of people who go on vacation that use the pool I go to. Fine, right? There's a bar outside of the pool because it's an indoor pool. And there's a bar right outside. And a lot of times the parents just go and get drunk and stuff and let their kids run around and almost bust their ass on the pool deck and just let them be total assholes. And like, I'm like, why am I being your parent right now? Like, I know your parents are tired of being parents, but this is like, you guys are going to grow up and be the people that make people hate people, Like, people are like, I hate people. It's because of people like that. They were given iPads and like not told how to like be a nice, like, person and respect other people, and not be a menace.
I understand. But that's very good. But whatever you have been a swimmer, you have been a ballet dancer, you have performed in a musical theater, you're a singer. And now I have seen many of your videos during the voting period, from the Bizarre Love, then Liar, and especially I like the production of that music video of yours, Sugar, especially.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I love that one too. That's a favorite one of mine too.
So I can say you have actually went beyond the creative side of this part also, where you have produced your own videos. Like, not every singer or not every musician can do it. So while doing all of that, have this system has ever threatened your love for art, like, or did it empower you in an independent way?
Yeah. So did what part threaten my love of the art? You mean doing the other side of it, like the producing side?
Exactly. You're seeing the system, right? From inside.
So I'm gonna be honest here, and for better or for worse, I mean, it's easier just to tell the truth because then you don't have to remember lies. And my dad taught me from a young kid, the truth will set you free. So just tell the truth, and that's one thing I can't keep. Like, that's one of my deal breakers in life is people who lie. I can't do it. I don't respect them. I get them out of my life immediately. Anyway, but the reason I bring that up is, there are some people who are in our industry on that side that, they embody characteristics and qualities that I don't agree with. And they become so focused on awards or outside recognition or just to make a buck. And listen, everybody needs to make money. And I'm not opposed to making money for my creative endeavors. Not at all. But, I do think that people forget that there needs to be integrity. So I'm actually like the fact that I'm on the other side. So whenever I really started doing entertainment, I never in a million years thought I'd be producing stuff. Never in a million years.
Gotcha.
But here's the thing. I learned as I went along, I'm like, you know what? Nobody is going to make these opportunities for me. They're not going to be like waiting at my doorstep. People are not going to be waiting at my doorstep and being like, oh, Charley, here's this opportunity. Please take it. That's just not going to happen. That's not real life. That's not realistic. So I said, if I want things to happen, I'm going to have to make them happen, regardless of other people.
Right.
And also, there's that saying, I can't remember who said it, but be the change you want to see in the world. And I want to, on my music video sets, I always have many, many, many women, mostly women productions. I still have men, but I like to hire people who are from underrepresented backgrounds in the film industry. So that's women, people of color, women of color. I want people on my sets again, just like with my friends growing up, I want people who have a different point of view, who aren't just, giving us the same thing that all of us have seen. And I also want to give the whole reason I just really have to be successful is because I want to use my platform to empower other people and to give other people opportunities, because I see my work as a mission. It's not just, let's make a shitty song, make an expensive video, put it out there and make millions of dollars. Again, I'm not opposed to making money on stuff. Absolutely not. But at the same time, this is what I tell everybody, no matter what endeavor I'm working on, I like to sleep at night, and I like to sleep soundly and deeply. I don't know how, but there's people who get to where they get through just engaging in behaviors that are exploitative, that are immoral.
We both actually can relate so much to that. It's like, how
Yeah.
can you even sleep at night, right? When you're doing...
Because they have no morals and they have no conscience.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not my job to judge them. I do have my opinions, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not the judge of them. I don't agree with them. I don't want to be around them. But it's like, I had a boyfriend, speaking of the Grammys, that are coming up. I had an ex-boyfriend. Now this motherfucker, and I'm sorry to be so colorful, but some of them, that's the only way you can describe them. There is no other word.
No, it puts the thing in context,
Yeah, exactly. and that's what he is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember being there for him when unfortunately his dad died when he was, in his 20s from cancer. Horrible thing. I was there for him, and he kind of like just went off the deep end, which is understandable, right? Get that. I begged for him to go with me to the SAG Awards, the Screen Actors Guild Awards. He blew me off. Sent him pictures, blew me off. Goes to my birthday party a couple months later, ruins it, invites some really trashy people up to my table that I've bought. Why are my boyfriends making me buy everything? Do you see the theme? I'm buying everything for my birthday. That one guy, it was my hotel room. This guy, it's like a table. Oh my God. No. So anyway, Anyway, he is one of those people I'm talking about, where he just has no problems being, and the reason I say that is, now that I'm going to the Grammy Awards, and I posted something about just being grateful that I'm a voting member now, and I get to be around such cool people and meet so many awesome folks and have great opportunities. He all of a sudden pops up.
Of course.
Okay.
And he keeps asking me, do you want to go to do you need a date for the Grammys? And then all of a sudden I'm getting invited to go to Mexico with him. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. So, I hate those stereotypes. And unfortunately, there are those stereotypes that exist. And that's why I'm so grateful to be an independent artist. And I'm so grateful that I have the means and ability to produce, because again, going back to that saying, I'm going to be the change that I want to see. I want to see more people get opportunities that haven't had opportunities on sets. I want to be honest. I want to be fair. Have I come across in my dealings with people who are not that way? Absolutely. Have I been burned? Sure. Have I dealt with jerks? Sure. But that's not going to change who I am. And I unfortunately am very optimistic and hopeful that I just want to cultivate a community of folks and people that are good-hearted, and I want to see us win.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, that quote is, Suraj, correct me if I'm wrong, it's from Mahatma Gandhi, right?
Yeah, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi.
Yeah.
There
Be
you
the
go.
change you want to see in the world.
Be the change you wish to see in the world. Yeah.
This is and I'm not just saying this because you guys are both, Indian, but I was raised Christian, and I still consider myself Christian, but I actually have taken a lot from Eastern religions and philosophies and kind of implemented them. In fact, I wear a Buddha a lot of times. I've got a little sitting Buddha, just because there's principles from Buddhism and from Hinduism. Like, I don't eat beef. And it's because I respect like with cow, it's weird. But anyway, there's tenets from Buddhism and Hinduism and these other religions beyond Christianity that really resonate with me and that have deeply influenced me. And again, that's why I don't relate to just the people in my neighborhood, because I've been exposed to too much. And I know, and I've seen other points of view that resonate with me, that I can't go back to just being that thing anymore.
No.
Yeah.
This thing actually shows that you are a true artist, because for me, the meaning of the true artist is to be open for everything. Just
That's right.
For me also, like, I am into more of philosophy. I have myself as a born as I don't say as a religion term, but I am born as a Hindu. But I have read the different. I have read the Bible twice, Quran twice, Gita twice, and the another philosophical parts. So I accept whatever I like to.
That's right. That's right. And honestly, in my opinion, a lot of the major religions are all saying the same thing, in different ways, and for me, the one that you'll see in so many of them is do unto others as you would have done unto you. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Right. And that's a big part of my life, personally and professionally. Unfortunately, I keep meeting people who don't treat me the way I treat them, but that's fine.
That reminds me of a quote. I think it's by Eminem, and I've seen a picture of that. I don't know if this is not what it exactly is. It's like, I don't care if you're black or white or gay or this or that or the other. If you're good to me, I'm good to you. As simple as that. Right. And talking about the whole religion thing, Suraj was saying, like, he's read all these books and everything. Oh, of course, I was born in a Hindu family, but I went to a convent. Right. So right since childhood, like since kindergarten until, my high school, we used to literally go into the church and then go into the school. So for me, I've been more to the church than I've been to the temple, but I've also been to the mosque. I wear this kada, which is Sikh thing, right? And so I've gone to their temple. I used to go there a lot, and they have something called seva, which means you're kind of serving people and you're helping people. So I used to do that. So I kind of like going to all these different places. It kind of changed me. And it's not like I'm religious or anything. I'm not trying to say that, but it's just kind of, like going to the church so much. Like, and in India, I don't know if you know, but there's people celebrate everything. Like, we celebrate Christmas the same way. At least I grew up that way.
I did not know that. I did not know that part. Yeah.
Like, we wait for Christmas. We wait for Diwali, which is the Hindu festival. We wait.
I know that. Yes. Yeah. I know that, and I know holy. Is that how you pronounce it? Holy. Yes.
The festival of colors. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of festivals. Don't get me started. There's like so many festivals. But anyway, let's move on. One of the things when I was kind of researching and I was reading a lot about your stuff and listening to a lot of stuff, your work really blends storytelling, feminism, and cinema, especially in the song "Your Fire."
Yes.
How do you balance the message, the responsibility, and the authenticity when you create your artwork?
So, I mean, the big thing is, I like to send a message without being preachy. I know we've just talked about religion, right? So I want to have a voice. I want to have a point of view. And I think most people in general have an innate sense of seeing through fake things, right? I think most people can kind of see through when something is feeling kind of not real, like put on. What I try to do is, like I said before, the only thing, and I don't really fear this, it's just because my parents have said things about it, that I think about it, because, your mom and dad, no matter how old you get, their voices in your mind, of things they've said in the past. And, they've said things like, your songs, you don't like men, you hate men. And I'm like, that couldn't be further from the truth, like, at all. I love men. I'm just very disappointed in the ones that I've chosen to date, and that's on me. Like, that I've that's my bad.
Bad choices I made.
I've made some bad choices, but that's one thing. I don't ever want anybody to hear my music and be like, this is just for feminists. This is just for women. this is just for angry people. And part of me that thinks that I don't come across that way is just because I do have men as fans that talk to me constantly and engage with me. And so
Well, you have a fan here now.
I appreciate it. And I'm a fan of you guys. And again, I'm not just saying this. I really am honored to be here. Thank you so much again. But I think that if you're true to yourself and you don't try to be somebody you're not, because it's like being an actor, right? People think, this is the one thing that pisses me off about what people may say about actors. They say, well, you're a professional liar. I even heard Charlie Sheen say he's a professional liar.
Well, I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
Well, then you're not a good actor. Okay. Right. I'm sorry. You're not a good actor, because what you do as an actor is you find that character's part of you. You find the part of you in that character. So even if you're playing, God forbid, somebody horrible like Hitler, right? Well, you've got to find some kind of end to that. You've got to find the humanity in him, even if you're playing an evil thing, And so whenever I'm making music videos, I am playing a character, right? But because I'm showing you a different side of me, right? Like the music video for Sugar is more flirty and more fun. And there's even 3 versions of me, which are all aspects of me. Your Fire, I almost have this kind of like feminist, like superhero kind of vibe. And that is, that's part of me too. So I feel like as long as what I'm putting out there is a part of me and it's true to me, I don't worry about the reception, because again, I know that I was coming from a place of truth from me. Now, some people might be like, I didn't realize that was a part of you, and that's fine. Right, but I think if you come at things with honesty, and if you're honest with yourself, and I think that's a big thing that, especially in this day and age, I think a lot of people lie to themselves, and I'm not, again, I'm not going to sit here and criticize them, because life is hard. It's been a very challenging few years with the pandemic. Being here in America has been very challenging as a woman, and just seeing some of the things happening that I really don't agree with. And I think people lie to themselves to cope, and that's fine. You got to do what you got to do. But at the same time, as an artist, your job is to have the bravery to show life as it is and to show truth. You are to be a trailblazer. You are to allow people to feel like it's okay to express yourself. It's like you're the one person who sees something sad and you're the first one to like say it's okay to cry about this tragedy. You're the first one, the artist is the one to be like, it's okay to be mad about this. It's okay to be. And so the biggest compliment I get when I make music videos and make music and make any kind of creative endeavor is whenever I hear from the person consuming it that it resonated with them, or it helped them through a difficult time. Because again, that's my mission, is to I've worked really hard in my life to give myself permission to be me, because the eating disorder was a fight against being me. And I don't want people to have to go through that 17 years of hardship like I did. I want to give them a shortcut with my art and say, hey, it's okay to be you. Took me 17 years to get that, but.
And one thing, Charley, while you say all this, I'm kind of thinking like, people also kind of read through that, right? Like their artwork kind of, whatever art form, right? It might be, it kind of speaks for itself too, right?
Yes.
People will see through it. A lot of people, I think, I don't know everyone, but a lot of people will see through it. Like, oh, this artist is so true to their art form, and they really mean what they are saying or what they are showing, or, I think people can read that. That's so cool.
I sure hope so. Because I try to, and that's why I try to as well never participate or write stuff that I can't put myself into, because I've been offered songs. I've written most of my music. There's a handful of songs that I've been given, and if I don't have any kind of entry point to it, or it's really against me, like for whatever, and I'm not saying offensive, okay? I'm just saying it's not, I don't feel like it's truthful for me, then I will respectfully decline, because, I don't want to try to be somebody I'm not. I don't think that helps.
Yeah.
I am my deal in this, like my thing in this life, my mission is to be of service to other people. And if I show people that it's okay to be fake, and it's okay to be a liar, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I
No, understood.
doing?
Yeah, it goes back to that, how can you sleep at night kind of.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like the people that are like, oh my God, Sandeep and Siraj, I love you. And then you turn around, they're like, oh, fuck those guys. They're trash. You know what I do? You know what I do? If I see people I don't like in a room, instead of being like, oh my God, hi Sandeep, hi Siraj, I just pretend like they're not there, because I don't have anything nice to say. I don't wish ill. I wish no ill. But I also don't have anything nice to say, so I just pretend like they're not there. They're not in my orbit. So see, that's the difference.
The journey you have done for your music, from like the day one you have started creating your own originals. You have been to many different awards ceremonies, red carpets, and now this time you will walk on the, we can say, world's one of the most prestigious event, or the most prestigious red carpet, Grammy, in the 1st February. So any of this has ever changed the definition of success for you?
Well, I mean, I never, like, this is kind of, I remember when I first started out, like my first EP was with somebody who was Grammy nominated, and I was just like, oh my God. And like, yeah, exactly. I was like, that's so amazing. Like, and I remember he applied for membership and he didn't get in. And I was like, well, shit. If he can't get in and he's Grammy nominated on an best R&B album, like contemporary R&B album, well then, but then I shouldn't even, but but it would be a lie if I were to say that wasn't in the back of my mind. I even have a picture from 2020 of like goals on a whiteboard, and one of them was to be able to find a way to get my music video on the first round Grammy ballot. And whenever I was going after, and so what happened, the way I became a voting Grammy member is, it's so funny how like things happen kind of in little paths. So I'm going to try to make this as short as possible.
Yeah.
But basically, the gentleman who's doing some of my publicity, he ended up writing a recommendation for me. I met a gentleman who's a mixing and mastering engineer, and he has been a governor on the board, and he was another one of my recommenders. And I didn't think there was any way in hell I'd get in. And after finding out I got in, I was in shock. Like that whole day, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. Because again, and then I remember going not too long after through pictures on my iCloud, because iCloud is like inevitably like, you've run out of space, buy more. And I'm like, or not. And so I'm going through pictures like, do I need this? And I saw the picture of that whiteboard. It's 5 years ago, 5 years prior to me becoming a voting member. And never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be a Grammy voting member. So, and a lot of the external stuff and like charting like on iTunes in different countries, all of those have been just things that happened unexpectedly, and I'm grateful for. For me, success is not necessarily these things I'm talking about. They're very exciting, and it does feel like it's validation that, hey, you're doing well. Mm-hmm. But success for me, whenever I became integrated into this Grammy community, and I've met so many Grammy members over the voting seasons, mm-hmm. I mean, wow. The fact that I get to like talk to these folks is just, it's incredible. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. And success for me is whenever you're able to be around people that uplift you and that you can uplift as well. And so it goes beyond outside achievements. Obviously, the outside achievements have been very validating for me, but just being able to say, hey, so and so is now my friend and they're a Grammy nominee and they're taking time to talk to me.
Yeah.
It's the people, you know?
So it's kind of, would you also say, like, it's kind of a very humbling experience to meet a lot of these folks and things they've achieved, probably, because I always kind of,
Yes.
Not in terms of,
You messaging me like you're like you've like been nominated for Grammy like 6 times, or like you've won all these awards. Like, why the hell are you wasting your time talking to me? But yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
That is cool. Now let's move on. This is probably one of my favorite things to ask you too, and I'm sure it's one of your favorite things too. But you're a mom to rescued bulldogs,
yeah.
Achilles and Blue. So what have they taught you about presence and grounding amid such a driven life?
Yeah. So just real quick, a lot of my fans become my friends, which is super cool. And one of them sent me a video of Achilles and was like, hey, I know you've grown up with bulldogs and you have a bulldog. Can you share this? And I did. And my dad saw it. He's never going to admit to this, but he saw it and he started crying and he's like, oh my God, they're going to kill the bulldog. Like, no. And next thing I know, I'm on a plane to LA with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Getting Achilles. I'm not kidding. And on the way to the shelter, they're like, hey,
Amazing.
I know that you're already rescuing one dog, but there's also a baby bulldog and he's got a lot of he's got a lot of medical issues, but on the phone you said you didn't really care. And I know you're going to drive me back to Florida like 3,000 miles, but if you want to take them, and I'm like, damn it, just put them in the car, And so Pablo, especially, he has spina bifida. So his spine didn't form correctly while his mom was pregnant with him. And so he's got some challenges, but he's got some special needs, but he's actually done better than expected. And whenever I got him diagnosed when we got back to Florida, because, the shelter, like, they were going to, unfortunately, euthanize them. And, they didn't look too far into finding out what was wrong with the dogs,
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, it was so funny because the doctor is like telling me and my mom, because I had her go with me, like how miserable dogs with spina bifida are, how it's not fair to have them live. And he's sitting there like smiling, and she keeps going on. She keeps going on and on about how miserable they are. And then she goes, oh, fine. I guess he's happy. So just make sure you feed him a diet that's, low residue or whatever. So Pablo has taught me, especially, don't let other people put limits on you, because I was told he would never walk, and the dog can like jump up, especially if there's treats involved. He can jump super high, and he can walk, and he also doesn't know that there's anything different about him than any other dog.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like he lives his life like, I'm happy, I'm here, and there's nothing wrong with me, even though he's got a spinal issue. Like,
right.
I taught him from the beginning, like he wanted to drag his legs, and I said, no, you're going to learn to walk. And he did. And he can walk. And then Achilles, he was very, very, I would say, how sometimes like with people, when they're very like scared or nervous, they're kind of mean. They're kind of like edgy.
Yeah.
He was like that. And I've just given him a lot of love, and he's turned out to be just like the sweetest dog. And it just goes to show you that sometimes when you meet people and they're assholes, I'm not talking about my ex-boyfriends, okay, so that's a different story, but sometimes people who seem hard or seem like they're not nice, sometimes it's like you need to listen, and maybe they just don't feel safe. Maybe maybe they're looking for sometimes, yes, if it's dangerous, you need to walk away and not be around that person. But it's like, sometimes people just haven't asked them, hey, are you okay?
Right.
And you can be that person. So Achilles kind of taught me that, like, hey, are you okay? What can I do to make you feel comfortable? Because you've been. So anyway, and they've just obviously taught me unconditional love. And they've also taught me that, like, yes, do your work. But even like 3 minutes before I came on here, I was giving them peanut butter treats so they wouldn't bark during this podcast. So they've really, and here's the thing too, I'm just going to be honest here, is that, I used to feel a lot lonelier than I do since I've gotten them. And like haven't dated anybody since I got them, because the kind of love they give me, and the kind of joy and fulfillment they give me, is just, they're the light of my life, really.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was not trying to be disrespectful. I was kind of looking
No,
at something.
you're fine.
Probably already knows what I'm going to show you right now.
Okay, I'm excited.
Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
So this was Trooper. Oops, sorry.
That's okay. I saw. Yeah.
So you saw him. This was Trooper, and we adopted him in Denver, and then we moved to LA.
Yeah.
And so he was 14 and a half when he passed away. So lived with us for 13 and a half years, and everyone knows him. Suraj has never met him, but he's always seen him on camera and everything. He used to sing with me. He was the husky German Shepherd, so he would howl and stuff.
Yes, they sing.
And
yes.
And here's my current one. Let me show you. This is Kodiak, a.k.a. Baloo the bear. Can you see it?
Is that a German? Is that a German Shepherd?
Yeah, it's a German Shepherd.
I can see it now. Yeah. Yes.
That's a German Shepherd. Long story short, his story is he was found in Mount Baldy in L.A., just roaming Mount Baldy all by himself with a prong collar.
What?
Yeah, a good lady who used to go there every day for hiking. She saw him for like 4 or 5 days, so God knows how long he was there. I have those videos too she's taken. And so she tried to get him, but she couldn't. So finally, with the help of LA firefighters, they got him. And then he had no chip, nothing, right? And he survived in the mountains by himself. God knows how. And then we rescued him from German Shepherd Rescue of Orange County, and now he's a big boy, and he's all muscle, 125 pounds, and he's just so good. Yeah, he's so funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this: these people in LA are just shitty dog owners. Some of them, it sounds like. Yeah. Why are all these dogs like showing up like on Mount Baldy and shelter? Like, what the hell is going on in LA? Like, what is going on?
But we were so happy, like when I got him, and he's just like a part of our life. And like what you said, oh, look at that!
Wow,
look at these chunky boys!
Wow.
So which one's Pablo and which one's?
This is Pablo.
Okay.
And that's Achilles. Now, to make it easier, I actually call him Chili. That's his nickname, Chili.
But yeah, you were so right. They teach you unconditional love. At least that's what I learned.
They're just the best. And I actually, go ahead.
Trooper over here was my
beautiful.
First. I used to not even touch dogs.
Really?
Yeah, I never grew up with dogs, so I would not even touch a dog. I would not be like, I was not scared, but I was like, oh, don't come near me, kind of.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, there's hair over here. There's hair.
Yeah, there was somebody who came over today to do some work over here. And like, I had to clean all the dog toys all over the hallway because they were everywhere.
Yeah.
Because Pablo likes to carry them from the basket. He takes each one out in the hallway. And I could see he was so concerned and upset when I put them all back. He was like, you just undid all my work. Do you know how hard that was, lady, to get them all into the hallway? But yeah, they're just amazing creatures. And, I would love, again, I just want to make a lot of money and be successful. And like, whenever I pass, like donate my money to like create a big rescue like foundation and stuff.
Wow, that'd be so much fun.
Sounds funny, but I'm this is sad, but I literally was on Instagram yesterday, like right before I went to bed. I don't recommend it because they like sent me, how they like algorithm will suggest reels. Well, they decided to suggest a reel of a poor dog that had a tumor. And it was so heart-wrenching. I literally was bawling. I was sitting there bawling and cried about it and cried until 1:30 in the morning about it. So I'm a big softie.
Wow.
When it comes to dogs, I'm like that. I don't know if you can tell. Can you see? This is like, the picture is not that great, but
I can see.
So that's Kodiak. That's me. Can you see the keys over there? You can barely
Yes, I
see him.
do. Yes, I can see him.
But
Yes, I do.
that's basically a harmonium, right?
Cool.
I practice my vocals every day. Almost, I try to at least. So before my work, I'll do that. And every time, I don't know what it is. He was upstairs. This was from yesterday. He was upstairs, or yesterday or the day before. And the moment he heard me do my first note, literally he came running down, and he'll sit next to me. He'll first dig his head over here, then he'll come right here, then he'll just keep staring at me, and he just sits, and he'll sit there for like how much ever time I'm practicing. So it's so different. I mean, and Trooper used to do the same. Trooper used to come and sit in front of me and be looking at me. And I even had like a meme I had made once. I'm sitting on the harmonium and I'm practicing, and this guy's just looking at me like, huh, like that. And I made a meme about that on Facebook, and people were laughing. And I said, every note you take, every mistake you make, I'll be watching you.
Yes, that's so funny. I love it. You know, dogs, I swear to God, dogs like music, and they have preferences too when it comes to music. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So looking back at all your story, it was like great knowing you. I have read about so much about you while we talk during the voting session of the Grammy. But now from here, your mouth, like you have so many identities. Like you are a great singer, you are a swimmer, you are artist, you are a ballet dancer, you have performed in a music theater, you are a dog mom also. Then you are
Yeah.
a survivor from the eating disorder. Like you are a warrior yourself. So now come to all of this, like which part of you still trying to protect, and like what you're trying to achieve now in your future?
Yeah. So I mean, my big thing is I've been all those things, and you know, obviously like I'm not doing ballet actively anymore. I'm still swimming, I'm still a dog mom, you know, so those parts. But right now, I would say my biggest, you know, my biggest mission and the person I'm trying to be is just the most authentic version of myself that I can be, and be true to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And really, you know, I feel like before the tragedy happened with my grandfather, I was a certain way. And then whenever he passed, I changed. And then it wasn't until, you know, I really got over my eating disorder to a very good spot. You know, I got it to where it wasn't really, you know, like I said, it's still always there in a way, but it's not, it no longer had control of me. And I really just trying to get back to who I was, like even when I was 5, because that's going to sound super funny, but like when you're 5, you're not scared of how other people see you. You're not afraid to be yourself. You aren't afraid to tell people how you feel. You aren't afraid to like be intense or to love stuff or to not like stuff. You're just not I guess the underlying current is you're not afraid to be here in life and to experience it and to love fiercely, to speak your truth, and to be brave. And that's what I'm working on still, because you know, I'm going to be honest, like I still get anxious about certain things. I was very anxious today for this podcast and just, you know, for like just, you know, for all of it. And I feel like that when I was younger, you know, I wouldn't be like, I'd be like, I'm ready. I'm going to be me, and that's going to be great. Like and I know that I'm a good person and I've got a good heart, and if they don't like me, that's okay, cuz I know who I am. And so I just want to get back to being that person, because, you know, and just not being afraid to speak my truth and to love fiercely and to be intense or to be weird. Not, I guess the underlying thing is just not be afraid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's easier said than done, because life is scary.
Yeah.
Life is scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just trying to be me and try to just love fiercely, advocate for others, and do my best to contribute to this world in a positive way. And to hopefully have some fun and meet cool people.
Have fun in the process, right?
Right. And meet cool people. Yeah.
I can't
Awesome.
say anything about the others, but I can say about us, like, we love you.
Oh, love you guys too. You guys are awesome. And like
Thank
I
you.
said, you definitely fit because like I can learn from you guys. That's what I mean. People like, I'm just like, I want to meet people from other countries and other backgrounds because I can learn so much. And
Yeah,
again,
that's
go ahead.
no.
Yeah.
Finish your thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say just because and I haven't ever really lost that because that's just who I've been since I was 5 years old too. I'm like, wait, you're not from America? Okay, tell me about you. My
Yeah.
gosh, that's so cool, you know? So, I just want to learn about other people and other things. I love learning. I'm a nerd. So, yeah. And like I said, much to my horror, I'm a people person and I love people. I think that's why I get so upset with like the little kids and sometimes other people because they disappoint me because I expect people to be like me insofar as I expect people to be honest and to always do the right thing and to love others like they love
Mhm.
themselves. And unfortunately, that just sets me up for a lot of disappointment.
Yeah. That's great.
So
Well, it was
yeah.
great talking. I mean, this is so much fun,
Yeah,
for us
thank you
too.
guys.
Knowing
Thank
you,
you.
and I'll be honest, I had when Suraj told me about you and everything, and he's got
You're like, who the hell is this?
no. I am always open. I'm kind of like you, when you said I love listening to different forms of music. Actually, that's why we both get along. We are
Yeah.
not your typical, I guess I can say, typical Indian people who are just listening to one form of music. We are very much open to. In fact, as a vocalist, I literally don't listen to Indian music right now. I mean, I've heard so much in the past that it's always
Sure.
there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But I'm constantly listening to. He'll be sending me stuff. I'll be sending him stuff. I'm listening to different forms of music. I obviously I gravitate more towards the vocals very easily. So I'll be listening to Arabic music. I'll be listening to the other day I was listening to African singing and I was like, how is this guy doing this? And I'm like so intrigued by the sounds and the things. And I'll be listening I was in a metal band. I was in,
That's cool.
yeah. So so he used to play metal too, but we've kind of
Yeah.
grown.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, so we've kind of it's about like keeping your what do you say like the thought process and everything open so that you kind of like taking everything in. I love, like you said, you love meeting different people, so I love listening to different artists, meeting different people, learning from them, like how do you do this over here. So you'll see as this podcast grows, we'll have a lot of different kind of people coming in and offering and telling us about you know their experiences, their music, their art. And so that's why we're excited to do this.
I'm excited.
Oh.
I'm excited to follow you guys' journey and everything. It's going to be exciting. So
Yeah.
just don't have anybody on here that sucks because I'll write you a note and be like, hey, Suraj, Sandeep, why you got to have that person who sucks on there?
Feel free to tell us that. And if you know people too for the future, we already have a lineup right now, but if you also know some really like the guy you mentioned about who was the Grammy, I
yes,
think
Mark,
yeah,
you've got to I don't know if you guys listened to his album, but his album Black Shaman, and again, like that's not a typical genre I listen to, spoken word, it's just not. And that album literally gave me chills.
Really? You should send a link.
Are you
I
talking
will.
about the Mark Marcel?
Yes.
I talked with him yesterday only on the Instagram. I just listened to his album, that Black Shaman, and I just messaged him that I really loved him.
Nice.
Yeah.
What did you think? I just thought it was incredible.
It is very good, and like the way he speak things,
So
for
good.
me, the first guy I met in my life who speak very nicely is this man sitting over here.
Yes.
And,
yes.
and the
Sandeep,
second-
you will appreciate Mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He have a very good speaking skill. Even the
Yes.
Mark, I have heard him
Nice.
like.
Send me
Yes.
stuff. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. And we should probably have him on the show then.
You should have him
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to meet him at the Grammys because he just seems like he kind of has like that same kind of message in a way, like, one of his songs is like No More Gurus, and he basically calls out all these people going over to India or wherever they go, going on these spiritual journeys, and they come back and they adopt an Indian name, and now they're not John from San Francisco, but they're insert whatever Indian name here, blah blah blah. And now I live in the forest, and now you've got to pay me thousands of dollars so I can enlighten you too. And he's calling those people out and saying that's bullshit. Like,
that's
no
bullshit. Yeah,
you don't need and I actually have met one of those people, and I talked to him about it. I said, oh my God, I met somebody exactly like that. His real name's Brandon, and now he goes by this name that I can't pronounce, no offense, but I have no idea how to pronounce it. And so I always like to use people's names, and like whenever I was talking to him, I never said his name because I don't know how to say the damn name. And also I know his name is Brandon. It's not, this long name that he's picked out for himself. Yeah. And I'm like, also, like, I'm so glad you went on a spiritual journey, but like, you're full of shit, like you're full of shit, because like that's accessible to everybody and you're not better than and so Mark in his album basically is calling out these people who are just like taking these other cultures and again, I like to look at other cultures and explore them too, but I don't come out and be like, okay, I'm now Ronnie. My name is, Rani. Like, I'm now Ronnie. Call me only Ronnie, or like I'm Shaman Ronnie, like, no, like I've learned and I've taken my lessons, and that is now in part of me, but I'm not going to change my identity and now act again, that goes back to the fake thing,
Yeah. And why are you trying to just be yourself?
Yeah. Like you're not Swami whatever. Like, that's the song. He's like, and it's like, you're Doug, you do. It's so good. It's Black Shaman, Mark Marcel. The whole album is great. And it's just like, if you're spiritual and like you think, if you're spiritual and you're into like, universal things that go beyond just Earth, you'll really resonate with it. Yeah.
Understood.
Gotcha. I think I found him. I was just looking at him.
Yes. And also, like, he calls out, because I'm into New Age stuff, but he calls out these New Age people that are literally just like, again, they're being fake. They're not, You're like, for $24,000, you too can learn from me. I'm a Swami. It's like, no, your name is Doug, dude.
That's good.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
So it was great to talk with you, Charlie.
Thank you so much. You too, Suraj.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. It was so much fun.